Now, the JLP has fired back at the PNP for those comments, labeling the PNP as desperate. The party reasons the PNP's latest position is an attack on the country's democracy.
The Labour Party finds the statement issued by the PNP in respect of the electoral processes to be highly disappointing, and one that demonstrates that the Mark Golding-led party still has not learned that manufactured narratives and political mischief and lies will not win the hearts or trust of the Jamaican people. Even as we know that there is always room for improvement and that we should always be vigilant. We should always be vigilant about any activities which could put our democracy at risk. And in this regard, I point to the preliminary reports of both the OAS and the CARICOM electoral missions, which have been entirely positive. I believe they have said that any of the hiccups which they observed were not detrimental to the process, and certainly they compared us favorably with our Caribbean brothers and sisters.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with Buzz. The audio that you just heard is from Kamina Johnson-Smith, Foreign Affairs Minister, and she was responding to accusations that were cast by members of the PNP, saying that there was vast vote buying, there was vast corruption, all sorts of psychs were used in the election 2025. That is why they got the victory. So this lady is downplaying and saying that there is nothing such as that. It is just whenever the fox can't get the grape, or they are just sore losers, meaning the PNP. Now, people, as a boy growing up in Jamaica, we've always heard about vote buying. It is not a mythical character like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, so everybody knows that that is a fact. As a matter of fact, coincidentally, I was having a conversation with a member of the PNP, and he was saying, sure, a regular thing that vote buying has been going on for decades, not only Jamaica, all over the place. So therefore, money talks and BS walks. We also heard Ms. Smith saying that, well, the international organizations said that the Jamaican election 2025 was almost as perfect, so it is a model for other Caribbean nations. Jamaica is a model nation for other persons to emulate, copy. Now, people, truth and the fact is that Jamaica, based on experts out there, not what I am saying, is one of the most corrupted places. Our governments, both JLP and PNP, back to back have been seen as being corrupt. And while we might have been getting better, we are still one of the worst in the Caribbean, one of the worst in the world. So there's no doubt. Now, when these international organizations came to Jamaica just to oversee or moderate the election process, a lot of things that might have taken place as Sykes, they might not have been used to. Being that accusations that MP from both parties, PNP and JLP, went to the polling station and there was intimidation process. The fact that both Flow and Digicel were not working and the electronic system was not used, which is the more perfect system rather than the manual system in which it could have been manipulated, meaning any sorts of thing could have used. They did not also hear about ballot boxes that were missing, taken away by the police. So therefore, if they are just on the outside and not understanding the levels of corruption and psychs and all sorts of crap that is used by Jamaicans, especially during the election process, then they would not know what have taken place. So therefore, them just look at some innocent people and think say, we are just a normal set of persons, not knowing that our criminal intention, our instincts are so great when it comes to corruption, because at the end of the day, corruption means winning, meaning power. Power is money, money is power, vice versa. So people are going to win by any means necessary. And this is not me saying that the JLP were the only ones that were guilty of these accusations. However, a lot of things went on that the average person would not have seen, especially if you are not hip to the psychs and the trade and everything that goes on in a Jamaica. So people, me just say, let me know in the comment section if you thought that 2025 election was a fair election process, or you thought that there were some shaky, unscrupulous stuff going on like always. Point blank and period.
Tonight, the FBI is asking for your help in finding a Palm Beach County woman they say was involved in a multi-million-dollar COVID fraud scheme.
40-year-old Elaine Esco, seen here smiling with family and friends, is wanted by the FBI. The fugitive, who also went by the alias Annie Palmer, is accused of pocketing COVID relief money totaling $34 million. Federal agents say she and others were part of an elaborate scheme involving wire fraud and money laundering.
Now, Esco has tattoos on her left wrist, her stomach, her shoulder, her back. Federal agents believe she could be in Jamaica, where she's originally from.
So the next thing that is popping in the news based off the video that we just watched is of a young lady known as Elaine Esco. Jamaican 40-year-old that is wanted by the FBI for wire fraud. Defrauding the government, United States, that is for in excess of 34 million US dollars. That is buku cash. Based on the information, it is said that she filled out for purses 90 applications for COVID relief back in the COVID days, obviously. And that figure amounted to $34 million. However, those persons that were supposed to get relief for their business being closed down are pretty much losing money, did not get anything from it. That money was wire transferred to Miss Eugene Esco's bank account, her co-defendants and affiliates. Now, people, when I look in the comment section, based on what persons were saying, she was getting mostly support. I am going to let you take a look to what a young man says that was pretty much echoing the sentiments of most persons that were there. I am also going to be playing or putting up some pictures of the comments that persons were making so you can watch as he speaks. Take a listen, take a look.
A Jamaican woman became an American citizen, and in 2020 she chopped the fucking government for $34 million because a woman, they are legend, a woman, they are boss, a woman, they are general. Chopped the government with PPP loan for $34 million, and they must say, boy, she must run going back down a yard there. Hey, lady, big up yourself, you know. You a chopper. You is a chopper. You is a motherfucking chopper. My honors, my respect to you, lady. You chop the right people, them. Them rest of guy here chop the old people, them, and take them life savings and fees, them a mish. Mish me bum buck lad. I get 10 and 20,000. Eh? You ever chop a million yet? But I call yourself bum buck lad mish. The woman chop 34 mil. 34 mil. You are the godmother. You me say? You are the godmother, you are the queen. Nobody can chat to you. 34 mil, and you just what? You're about 40, 39, 40. Me pussy lad. You're a legend, lady. You are a legend.
Now, people, like I said, what this man was saying is pretty much echoing the sentiments of a lot of persons that were in the comment section based on that information when news dropped of that choppings. We should not be surprised because we see Jamaicans, a lot of Jamaicans feel as if when it comes to oversaw Mr. Trump's place, it is money for what they've done to be LACK people. People, that is old-time thing, that is bullshit thinking. The fact is that a criminal is a criminal, and while persons might be saying that sometimes people chop the line so that they can come up, so that they can live a better life, and persons would rather live in a prison than dead like a dog on the street. People, like me say, at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. So some of the comments that I saw, they must say, hold on a minute, Esco, is that even a Jamaican name? Well, people, there was a producer known as Esco, so I guess it is not an unusual name, not very regular name. Persons were saying then, hold on a minute, where she get that name there? No wonder she can't afford to live a Whitehall because you know about the White Witch of Rosehall or Rosehall, sorry. So they must say that is the only way that she could buy that great house. And persons are saying they wish they had the guts and balls and intestinal fortitude like this lady for chop the line just like that. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news based off the picture or graph that you see on the screen as I speak. It's said to have been something that was released by the Elections Office of Jamaica. Now, people, I cannot validate or verify as to if this was an official release by the Elections Office of Jamaica. Don't know if this is some PNP persons that is causing mischief on social media. But if we look and consider it to be true, something is definitely wrong with that. And again, my disclaimer, if it is actually coming from the Elections Office of Jamaica, and this is not some sorts of mischievous, malicious stuff to defame the JLP and Andrew Holness possibly winning his seats. So based on what it is saying, it is a constituency of Andrew Holness, and it is saying that there were a possible more than 32,000 voters. However, out of those 32,000 voters, 18,000 of those voters spoiled their vote, meaning that they could not put an X in a little spot where they're supposed to put the X. So therefore, it is null and void. Now, people, I say this to say that if this is an official release by the Elections Office of Jamaica, it defies gravity, it defies logics. It makes absolutely no sorts of sense for anybody in Jamaica to believe that persons who vote who are above the age of 18 could not reasonably put an X in the spots where it is supposed to go. And of those 32,000 persons voting, at least 60% of them were incompetent to put an X. So people, I am going to go out on a limb and say that this is probably not an official release by the Elections Office of Jamaica, and this is just somebody creating mischief. Because unless you believe that the cow actually jumped over the moon, you would believe that at least 60% of the persons voting in any part of Jamaica could actually be that done. So people, let me know what you think in the comment section. Point blank and period.
Time. Why them have to wait till now them deal with that matter? Why them have to wait now for deal with that matter, bro? Come on, dog. Be for real, brother. From them time there, from them time there, dog. From them time there, bro, them for put on the system, brother. From them time there, them for put on the system, dog. She did the homes and then she come out. What's her name on TikTok? I don't know what's her name on TikTok. But I'm a cousin, the posts are some of the screenshot it. Pretty the posts are some of the screenshot it, bro.
The police them say by she 18 she come out. You see for no fear of she 3 years. That too short for her. She take him fucking life. That too short. She analyze me look at uncle this morning, stab him in the heart. I me say she have blood clot. All her for police them all her. Them are people that she in charge of the murder. And that them all you are. One stab she give me look at uncle. I'm put him up make you see him guys. Cause my phone there 4. I'm going in. Cause my phone there 4 guys. See me guys, but him bigger than that now, him get taller and look more mature. One stab she give in the heart and me have to go identify him this morning. A Spanish town.
So the next thing that is popping in the news is based off those 2 videos that I showed you of an incident, joke up that took place in a Portmore by a 15-year-old girl and a 14-year-old. The age is kind of conflicting. Some people say some 17, some 16, some people say 15 people. Me not really know. The point is that 2 young picnic or 1 young picnic take away the life of the next young picnic. Both of them are said to have been in a relationship. Now, based on one of those voice notes or the video that you just saw or listened to, they were saying that this young girl is a trouble girl. She comes from dysfunctional home, or she has dysfunctional attitude. She has anger management problem. So she went to one facility, government facility, left from there, went to a next one, and then it turned in the worst extent. It seems as if whatever or wherever she went, it did not work because she still had those problems. And those problems escalated to her joking up this little youth in her heart based on what the family member is saying. Now, people, here's the thing when it comes to these garrison. There's a thing that is called misery loves company. There's a thing that is called dysfunctionality. There's a thing that is called picnic having picnic, or even mothers and fathers that have childlike attitude. That means that they are childish and they are very irresponsible. So therefore, them immature and them careless, them worthless, them are rough. So this is what happens. This is the usual after effect or trickle-down effect, domino effect of whenever you have irresponsible parents having children. And sometimes you can be a very responsible parent and still have a child that is just bad. However, in most cases, it is the fact that it is children or irresponsible parents having irresponsible children. And it always leads to the furthest extent as it pertains to this. And what makes it even worse, she took the life of this youth and she's probably going to only get about 3 years or so. And then she's going to come back out after staying in a facility that probably makes her worse without any sorts of rehabilitation. And then when she come back out, she probably do the same thing or even worse. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, and this is based off the picture that you see on the screen as I speak, of a young lady known as Lola Dahl. She's 33-year-old Lolita Calendar, aka Lola Dahl, a Guyanese singer, very popular. Based on the news information, it is said that she sustained multiple gunshot wounds to the neck, the face, and hands while she was on her way in her car after arriving at her Texas Square East Rumwheeled home that is in Guyana. It is said that she is in critical condition at the Georgetown Hospital, again, Guyana. Now, people, based on the information, persons are wondering and pondering, what is the motive? Why would somebody that is so famous be targeted and taken away? Well, people, this is what it is. Misery loves company. And persons will take you away, whether it is Jamaica or Guyana, any place on Master God earth. But what we see, a new very disturbing trend, is persons on social media going back and forth with other persons, especially over man. And I am not saying that man was a motive in this case. So somebody made a post on the screen as I speak, saying that, yes, me and this person was having a beef, having a feud on social media. However, I would not dare go to the extent of taking away this person because of an argument. That would be a wussy move. Now, people, like me say, with the advent of social media, especially TikTok, just about any sorts of social media handle, we see that persons are no longer willing to sit down, negotiate, come to some sorts of amicable agreements. So therefore, they take it on social media. And when you take stuff on social media, and you have people boost you up like Suppligen, persons that don't have your best interest at heart, they will tell you to do stuff. And then when you do that stuff and you end up in a place known as the jail, prison, or penitentiary, then the same people are going to say, oh, she's so fool. She have this big career. She's making a whole lot of money. She have her family to take care of, and then she gonna make people boost her up, and she gonna end up losing her life or taking away other person's life. People may just say, at the end of the day, this social media thing is so dangerous because it is called show and prove. So people, like I said, I don't know the motive. I am just giving possibles. The moral of the story is this: be very careful with who, which part, and where you trod. The type of person that you have verbal turn physical altercation with Because if that person is serious like a judge that is not laughing, and then you're just boosting up yourself, making all sorts of threats, then that person takes it serious, and it is usually the bigger or the badder person that usually ends up winning or taking away your life. Nobody wins in this case because somebody might have lost their life, or somebody might have gotten badly injured, shot up multiple times, and then somebody definitely ends up in a prison. More than likely, whomever is responsible for this is going to get the brunt of the law, point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.